All right, guys, Figure Fanatics here with another review. Today we have the much anticipated, little known about HMYR Future Gohan. Diving right into this figure, it seemed like nobody knew about it. Came out of nowhere. We got some promotional pictures for it, and then suddenly we had a figure, and it was up for pre-order. I pre-ordered mine at Strawberry 3D. They shipped it out pretty quickly. He was 90 bucks shipped from them, which I think is too much for this figure, but we'll get into that as the video goes on. So getting started, as you can see, it comes with two boxes. You have the Has Creation box right here. I guess that's the HMYR new name, maybe. All right, and this is the Fist of the Broken Blade box here. That comes with the figure in it, and then this is the One-Armed Demon Hawk box. So, getting started, this figure is really pretty out of the box, okay? A little bit of shading on the legs. It's obviously, they use the Games Begin, SH Figuarts Games Begin body for this figure. So there's a little bit of shading on the legs. You got a new paint application with the white around the top of the boot, white around the bottom of the boot here. Overall, figure's really good. I think if I took one thing away from this figure, one thing I took away, it's the head sculpts. HMYR, obviously known for their head sculpts in the past. The head sculpts are probably the best Future Gohan head sculpts we have. I really think that's the best part of this figure. So diving right into it, we'll get into articulation. This figure has kind of the feel of the Games Begin Goku, where it's a little bit rubbery, a little bit soft, but it's not as rubbery or as soft. That's where you can really tell that this thing is not mainline like SH, that it is third party. It's that it's very clearly an imitation. For leg articulation, obviously you can get pretty high. If you tuck the flap in, bring it up, you're going to be able to kick a good bit. Let your kick up this way, outwards, as long as that flap is underneath. You can get probably close to a split, if not a split. You can feel it pulling right here, so I'd go back to there. You can see right there, that soft crotch definitely helps, but because it's not that Games Begin feeling, I'm worried that if you kept this in a pose over a long period of time, that this probably would not end up bending back down and coming down naturally. You'd end up getting kind of a rift right here. As a disclaimer, before I really get into the articulation, I, out of the box, pulled this whole thing apart and oiled everything. I did not oil the elbows, didn't oil the wrists, didn't oil the ankles, and didn't oil this shin hinge right here, but all of this in here was oiled. Ab crunch, ball and joint here was oiled, shoulders were oiled, shoulder ball into the actual, torso socket in here for that butterfly was oiled. Everything was oiled. It really needed it. I couldn't even move this arm when I first took it out. Now, pretty easily moving, getting my forward and backward movement, okay? But out of the box, I would recommend a lot of heat and a lot of oil, okay? For oil, I'll tell you right now, this is what I use. This is the Traxxas 30, okay, shock oil. I've been using this since I started collecting. This is the same bottle. I've had the same bottle for maybe 4 years now. You can see how high it is. All I do is I take a little dab, put it on a cotton ball or a Q-tip, and then put it inside the ball of the joint, and it works perfectly. Nothing else really needed, okay? So everything is oiled. With that being said, because it is on that Games Begin book, you're going to get pretty good articulation. Now, because of this being a clothed, his clothed t-shirt arms, you don't get as great articulation in the shoulders as the Games Begin, but it's pretty good. So that's your T-pose. Butterfly, you're going to get across. You have that soft gi right here, so you can get a pretty good butterfly coming across here. That's pretty good to me. One thing I will say, taking it out and oiling it, you have these caps in here, as you can see, those caps on the butterfly. These get in the way a little bit. You unfortunately do need them because this floating sleeve piece, because it's floating, you get a big, I mean, look how far you can pull that arm out. You get a big gap. The good part is, because of that, I mean, that butterfly is really good. We have double jointed elbows. There's a little bit of stoppage here because of the sleeve, but pretty good articulation. You have bicep swivel that's actually hidden in that sleeve here. You can hear there's a little bit of tightness there. Still, you have thigh swivel on the legs. Single jointed knee like the games begin, but it gets you, pretty good. Overall, really good articulation. Ab crunch, just as good as the games begin. You do get that gap in the back, but if you take this and slide it up, it's just, you still get gappage. I'm not a huge fan of this piece still, but we'll see. Maybe somebody will figure it out. Maybe Demoniacal Fit, when they do their future Gohan, will figure it out. We have great ankle articulation, in my opinion. Look at that. Turn out, turn in. We do get the shin articulation that came on the games begin. I am not a huge fan of this on this. I'm not a huge fan of it on the games begin either. I think it's way too loose. I think the only company that's done the shin articulation good so far is Tonson with their Gojitas. This shin articulation, I mean, look at that gap. You can chomp something in there. And it's really loose on this. So as you're posing, the leg just wants to open up like that. But otherwise, really good. I mean, you move those toes forward, kind of like you do on the Games Beginner or the LSSJ, and you get a really good downward toe pivot. You do have your toe hinge, okay? Move it back. Can't go up as far because of the tie right here, but more than you need. I mean, that's good enough right there. This thing poses well. It just does. The articulation is really good because they use that Games Begin buck. I wish some of these soft goods were, or some of these rubbered goods were softer rubber than what they are. All right. And overall, I would say the articulation is good enough. Definitely good enough. There are some things to watch out for, like the shoulders. Apparently people have already broken off the butterfly joint in here. I had no issues with it. I heated the heck out of it with a hair dryer. And it was fine, pulled off pretty easily, everything pulled off. One of my issues is this gi piece. Because it's floating, it kind of gets bunched up, as you can see, and you get like this weird like McDonald's arches M here on either side. But otherwise, I think it's really good. You just kind of push it down and hides really well. But I mean, you can get any pose you would need with a Dragon Ball figure with this thing, and it's not an issue. So I will say the heads are on the Games Begin neck peg. They do not peg into the back of the head, so it still does peg straight up into the head. You do get great head looking down articulation here. Side to side is really good. That neck moves around well. Looking up, not as good as the Games Begin, obviously, because it's not pegged in the back, but still really good. There is some gappage, but it's not horrendous. I mean, I really think that overall this figure is pretty good. I do not know if it's worth $90. Apparently, when the figure was announced, it was supposed to only be $45, and then because of the everybody kind of flocking to it, they realized they could charge more, and that's how we got the Scalper Ali prices, unfortunately. But it's a really good figure. I do have the N and N kit for the Games Begin coming in. I'll probably put those side by side in some pictures later on my Instagram page, which is under the same handle as this YouTube channel at Figure Fanatics. Okay, that's where I do most of my posting. That you're going to see a lot more reels, pictures, stuff like that. I took some pictures of the new recustom Vegeta head. You can see that on there. I might even show it off on here in this video when I do some comparisons. But so yeah, that's the articulation. The aesthetic, beautiful. We're gonna dive into accessories next. All right, guys, dive into accessories here. We have a good amount of accessories, nothing crazy. For hands, we have 5 pairs of hands. We have fists, open key blast hands here. We have our palm key blast hands. We have our ready stance, 2-fingered up hands, and we have our grabbing hands. For faceplates, we get 5 sets of faceplates on each head. For the base form head, we get the face we already saw on it, which is a straight, angry, I'm not happy Gohan face. We get a I am a happy future Gohan face. We get a smiling, looking off to the left face. We get a teeth gritted face. And we get a yelling face. For the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 head sculpt, right? We get a Super Saiyan head sculpt here, and it comes with an interchangeable bang, right? I don't know how I like the look of it with the interchangeable bang. With a head on or with faces on, I'll show you later what it looks like, but this is what you get for the Super Saiyan head, for our Super Saiyan Future Gohan head. Okay, we get the same amount of face plates for the Super Saiyan as we do as the base. We get a serious looking forward face. We get a one eye closed serious face. We get a looking up into the left face. A teeth grit face. And our yelling face. I think this is the best part of the figure. I think the head sculpts and faces are really, really good. Much better than what we've gotten in the past from other companies when it comes to the Future Gohan stuff. So that alone, I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of people that buy this just for the heads to put on a demoniacal fit body or the Games Begin body. You know, get the N and T or N and N kit, put that together, and then use this head. That might be what I do. I don't know yet. I do like this paint, so we'll see. We get the single arm, you know, when he's missing his arm, that you can pop in, comes with a joint right here, okay? You get same thing on this side. I don't really know how I'm gonna put this in, but you get the same thing on this side with the wind blowing, you know, sleeve with the wind blowing action. You get the belt, you know, wind movement or action movement belt piece here. Overall, good accessories. No key blasts. You don't get like a Future Gohan. You don't get a sword or anything, but obviously you could take that from a Trunks figure. It would have been nice for maybe something a little bit more for this figure, but overall, I mean, nothing terrible that you couldn't work with in the first place, you know. All right, guys, time for some comparisons. So here we have the HMYR Future Gohan. Here I have my Demoniacal Fit Future Gohan with the kit, and I have a brand new Games Begin Goku. So as you can see, height pretty even. It's hard to get this guy to stand straight, honestly, because of these stupid shin hinges. He's just, man, it's tough to stand straight. As you can see, height-wise, they're all right at the same height. You know, so unfortunately, a lot of people were asking if you could swap these two, like if you wanted a softer crotch or the better gi piece. You cannot. The blue here is a deeper blue than the blue here. The crotch piece here is a different crotch piece than the crotch piece here. They're totally different colors. You do have some of the shading, but otherwise these aren't gonna be really super compatible. But that is what it is. You wouldn't expect it to be honestly compatible, especially when you have a kit coming out soon. So I'm going to show you real quick what we had already for a Future Gohan. This is the kit that we had. A little bit of gloss to it, but otherwise I thought this was pretty good. It doesn't come with a lot of faces, and as you can see, the plastic they used is a little bit brittle. My belt piece broke here, but really a good kit. And because it was on that marshless body, you got, for that time, pretty good articulation. As I just pull the whole thing apart. You got pretty good articulation though. The belt is limiting the articulation, but if you just use the belt that was on the body already, you got what you needed out of it, and you got the shading from the Martialist Forever body. A really good figure that a lot of people still use today. This thing for a while was worth, these were worth a ton of money. So this coming to the market is definitely interesting. But what I really want to show off is the head. So this is the sculpt that we've had for a while now. I thought, and actually still do think, pretty good sculpt. It's definitely dated a little bit. The hair is very flat now. Comparatively, the yellow's a little bit kind of neon-ish almost compared to these other two figures, but really a good sculpt. So we'll get an up close of the Super Saiyan HMYR hair here. I now just finally looking at them side by side. I know a lot of people will still prefer that head sculpt. This head sculpt is really good though. The faces are really good. I kind of almost wish that these were compatible, because I would like to put some of these faces on that head sculpt. I think I might like that hair better, honestly. Still really good. You can see this gapping is just killing me, and you just keep pulling it down, and you keep getting that gap. Nothing you can really do about it. Yeah, good figure overall. That's the side-by-side. That's the color comparison. Obviously, I'll pull these two forward so you can see them in a better light. You can really see that those oranges are not the same. Not the same at all. Skin tone's pretty similar. Maybe a little bit more dark over here. But, yeah, just not going to be poppable and swappable, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave these here. I'm going to bring in another figure for the comparison, and I'm going to show off here my Beast Deities Ego Vegeta here. I'm going to get that Games Begin body out of the way just so we can see a height comparison, and I can kind of flex and show that bad boy off. So you can see height-wise, pretty good. Vegeta might be a little bit tall, but obviously this being Beast Deities, they're in their own scaling. I'm not going to go into a full review of it, but this to me is the best Ego head we have out right now. It is gorgeous. The faces are superb. The Super Saiyan 3 head that also comes with it for the Daima Vegeta is beautiful as well. Again, I'm not going to go super into it. We have had guys in the past like AJ Customs, great Ego Vegeta head, based on those Tonson art Vegeta head sculpts. We have DB&H, great Ego Vegeta head, really good manga style Vegeta head. But this right here is just, this thing is beautiful. Beautiful. You can see the skin tone is a little bit off. These heads were specifically made for those Black Hole Toy TK Majin Vegeta bodies, and they fit perfectly. It literally fits exactly into the peg. The only reason that this is sitting on this body right now is because I love the look of it. You can see I modded the body a little bit. There's a little bit of gapping, but I love the look of it, and I'm using pegs from AFM Customs. That dude is the man. I just wanted to shout him out because I love that guy. Love Adrian. So, speaking of pegs and neck issues, this uses the Games Begin neck peg, like I stated earlier. So I'm going to pop this off and show you real quick that neck peg. You can see it up in there. You can see mine's kind of splitting. That's how it was out of the box. I'm not actually worried about it breaking, as it seems to be holding well. Swapping this head or the other head onto this body is so hard. I mean, I am heating this thing till it's nuclear hot, and I'm still having a hard time swapping it out. So please be extremely careful when you are swapping these heads out, okay? That is my last disclaimer for this figure. Use oil, use heat, and be careful, especially if you do not want to break this. If this is going to be your only future Gohan, be very, very careful with it, all right? That being said, guys, that's all I have for today. If you want to stay tuned, I'm going to put up some shots of this beauty that I'm going to take, probably post them up on Instagram as well. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and everybody have a good day.